boys and girls. I almost didn't think I was going to make it today. But my mother, the good witch, who has taught me a lot, called before I could even stop this. So that's why I'm a couple minutes late. But I'm so excited about today because today we are working with magical eggs. That's right, magical eggs. So I'm going to start by reading. Remember, we finished last week our book on Wizard and Wart, and we read 4 chapters, which that's a wonderful thing. 4 chapters in a book. That's great. Today, as I told you last week, I want to read to you. This is a book of poetry, and it's put together by one of my favorite children's authors, Eric Carle, and it's called Dragons, Dragons. And you can see it's got this wonderful dragon on the front. And it explores all the different mythical creatures that we love to talk about. So I'm going to read to you a couple of the poems from here for this week. I've talked about my dragon before and his bad breath and some other stuff, but I'm just going to read to you some poetry about other mythical creatures who are his friends. First I'll read, this is just a short one, but this kind of looks like the dragon that I have. See how he breathes fire and he has wings to fly, but he doesn't look very happy, does he? No, he doesn't. And it says, Dragon, very short poem. Oh, tongue, give sound to joy and sing of hope and promise on dragon wing. And that one is by Anne McCaffrey. Just a short one, but it kind of describes the fierceness of a dragon. Here is one. Well, you know what? If you know anything about, say, the Abominable Snowman or Bigfoot, well, there's a creature called the Yeti. And the Yeti is similar. And people, it's mythical, but people say maybe they've seen it. It's this guy right here. And as you can see, he's got the kind of a head that's full of hair. It kind of looks lionish, but he looks like a man's face. He's got these long arms with, pointy fingers. And look at his feet. They're all hairy with big, huge toes, and he walks. So here's a poem about the Yeti. It says, the Yeti is a man-like beast, unless, perchance, he doesn't exist. He walks like a man and has hair on his face, and rumors persist that in forests and caves where no one goes, or high in the Himalayan snows, he may still be living. Nobody knows. If you meet him and ask him, are you a Yeti? All he can say is, maybe. And that's what he's saying there. Yeah. Isn't that neat, by John Gardner? He's kind of a neat creature. This one is a little strange. Now, my daughter, Maggie, you've met her when we had Reptile Day for Curiosity Club. She takes care of snakes and birds and stuff like that at the environmental center she works. And I had to ask her, have you ever seen anything like this? And she said, oh, Mom, that could never exist. I said, well, apparently, why wouldn't it exist? It has a head at this end, and then it goes all the way around, and there's a head at that end too. Look at that. Can a snake have a head at each end instead of a tail? What would it be like? Well, here's what this person says. This is Myra Livingston. The amphisbaenae, such a sight I've never seen, a head to sleep and a head to wake. Amphibianae, goodness sake, how amazing, how confusing not to know which head you're using. Amphibianae, such a sight I've never seen, a head to play, a head to rest, a head for looking east and for looking west. How peculiar never knowing what direction you are going. Amphibianae, such a sight I've never seen, a head to eat, a head to drink, a head to talk, a head to think. Amphibianae, what a trouble when you have to do things double. That would be terrible. You have two heads. Does he want to go this way or does he want to go that way? Does he want to talk or does he want to listen? Does he want to sleep? And what if the other one doesn't want to sleep? He wants to play. That would be terrible. But I think it's just a mythical creature, so we don't have to worry about them. Plus, it's a snake. I mean, I wouldn't mind a bunny with two heads, but I don't know if I'd like a snake with two heads. So here's another one that you read a lot in myths and so on. This is called the Griffin. And notice he has a couple different animals in him. He's got like a bird head, maybe a hawk it looks like. He's got these feathers, but he also has wings. He has a body like a lion. Looks like bird feet here and lion feet here. And he's all together. That's interesting. Well, let's read about him. The Griffin. Protector of pharaohs, defender of kings, the Griffin watched over their crowns and their rings. With wings of an eagle and sharp lion claws, it once tore to pieces the breaker of laws. It heard every whisper and knew every plot, and you may believe it, or else you may not. That is by Arnold Sandgraft, and that is a picture of a centaur right there. That's his, or yes, is that the centaur? Yeah, the Griffin. I'm sorry, we're going to read about the centaur. That's a Griffin, and this is just a different one called a hippogriffin. He's just slightly different. He's got a different body, but that's it. I don't know, if I saw a bird flying in the air with a lion body, I might be a little upset. So I talked about the centaur, and this is what he looks like. Okay, this is another mythical creature. And what you have is a man or a boy body and head. And it's like a bird, a horse. And so he gallops, but yet the top of him is a human being. He's in a lot of history, fake history, and myths and legends and so on, because he was not only smart because he had a man's body and head, but he was fast because he had a horse's body. So here's a poem about the centaur. Playing upon the hill, 3 centaurs would. They lifted each a hoof. They stared at me and stamped the dust. In furious brotherhood, around and about. They charged, they swerved, they leaped. Then, bound on bound, they raced into the woods. I think I would be quite shocked if I ever saw a centaur in the woods. That's by James Stevens. Let's see what else we have. Oh, one of my favorites, and I'll bet this is one of yours. And every time I go to the beach, I look out and I can see dolphins, I can see a lot of different creatures, but what I wouldn't give to see a mermaid. Look at that mermaid. It has long hair. It almost looks like parts of seaweed for hair. And it has a long tail, but the body of a beautiful woman. I wonder if there are men mermaids or mermen. I don't know. Look at all the other things, how big it is compared to the dolphins and the jellyfish and the little octopus and different things that are in there. She's beautiful. And what a way. Maybe you've seen Little Mermaid. Well, there she is. So I'm going to read this. Mermaid under sea. Beneath the waters green and cool, the mermaids keep a swimming school. The oysters trot, the lobsters prance, the dolphins come to join the dance. But all the jellyfish, who are rather small, can't seem to learn the steps at all. That's by Marchette Chute. Why don't you think they can learn the steps in the dancing school? Look at them. Here are the jellyfish. Maybe it's too hard. They have too many things to remember about their legs. Maybe that's what it is, all these jellyfish. I don't know. I'd like to see that dancing school, won't you? Sure. Oh. So we talked about dragons, and we didn't really say anything about Chinese dragons. That's my dragon's cousin. So a Chinese dragon, it took up 4 pages because it's so long. It's almost like a lizard. So I hope I can hold this out like this and this. Look at that. Look at that. It's a Chinese dragon. When they have their New Year, the Chinese people dress up like Chinese dragons and they go through the streets. Look how long his body is. Yeah. That is pretty neat. Well, let me find out if we have anything about the Chinese dragon. Chinese dragon. As the sun came up, a ball of red, I followed my friend wherever he led. He thought his fast horses would leave me behind, but I rode a dragon as swift as the wind. That's actually a Chinese Mother Goose rhyme. That is. Miss LeBeau, if you follow her on Wednesdays in Mother Goose on the Loose, she will talk about all the different American Mother Goose poems, and this is a Chinese Mother Goose poem. Let's see if we have anything else in here. I thought I had one more to read. Pegasus, that is the one. Now Pegasus, while we had others that fly and we had lions' bodies, Pegasus is a horse with wings. And Pegasus is in a lot of myths also. So this is Pegasus by Eleanor Fargan. Oh, he could not be captured. He could not be bought. His running was rhythm. His standing was thought. With one eye on sorrow and one eye on mirth, He galloped in heaven and gamboled on earth. And only the poet with wings to his brain can mount him and ride him without any rein. The stallion of heaven, the steed of the skies, the horse on the singer who sings as he flies. And that, boys and girls, is a Pegasus. There are others in this book, and you can find this book at the Snyder County Library. The author, well, the person who put the poems together was Eric Carle, and it's called Dragon, Dragon. So, as I said before, we are doing experiments today with eggs. And one of the things I told you, if you got your packet for the reading program, is that you had to have an adult for this, because we are going to be working with matches. Okay? So the first thing I did, the first one, I'm actually, if you see these bottles, I have one that's a hard plastic, and I have one that's glass, because I didn't know which one would work best. I have matches. I have some hard-boiled eggs that I already made, and I have a paper towel, and I'll tell you why. I thought, are they going to work? They're two different sizes, but you know what? Next week we talk about optical illusions, and so I wanted to check it out, and I found out that even though this one's smaller and this one's bigger, the hole for both doesn't look like it, but it's the same size. So I thought, why not? I want to try one with glass, and I want to try one with plastic. So I didn't know what you had, but I thought if you have a wide mouth, enough. And the reason I said wide mouth is I want it so that it'll just, it's not too big, but you could fit a hard-boiled egg on it. We did this at the library a long time ago in Snyder County Curiosity Club at the library, but I thought it's worth doing again. We're also going to be using a plain egg, 2 plain eggs. We're going to try it and see some other things. So I have 2 hard-boiled eggs, and the only reason I have 2 is because I want to see if they both work. And I have some regular eggs. So the first thing, I think I'll try it with this hard one. Now my husband said, Mr. Curiosity, he said, you know, I think if that's plastic, it's just going to fold in on it. And I said, oh, I don't think so. I can do an experiment. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take a match, and we're going to light the match, and I am going to take a little paper towel, and I'm going to light the tip of this. And as soon as I light it, I'm going to take my hard-boiled egg, make sure I have all my shells off, and I'm going to put him on here. And I'm going to see if I can suck this egg down in here. So what I do is I take my match, I take this, and once I light it, I'm going to put it right in here. And what's going to happen is all the gases and the carbon dioxide and all of that creates a little vacuum, and it should pull the egg in. So let's see if it works. So have a parent do this. I don't smoke, so I had to borrow matches, and I didn't have anything to strike them on, so I have a candle here next to me. So I'm going to light the match, and I'm going to put it like this and get it started, okay? And then I'm I'm just going to put it down. Come on, come on. And as soon as I do, it goes out. Now we're going to see if it works. The carbon dioxide and all the smoke that's in there should slowly start sucking it down. Might take a minute. You know what? While we're waiting for that, we'll start with this. This time I'm going to leave it lit instead of taking it out right away. All right? So this is my glass bottle. I take that, put it in there, right away, put this on top. So I can see the smoke working, and I did it. Maybe this is too big, but maybe this one will work. I don't know. If you were with us at the library, it worked. Come on, little eggs. Should we light some more? Maybe we don't have enough carbon dioxide in there. Oh, gee, I don't like when this stuff works. Doesn't work in my... Let's see if we have... Come on. Hope this is one of those days where everything works. Come on. You can do it, little guy. I smell the smoke. I think my glass bottle is a bust. Come on. Well, it's moving a little. You know what? I'm wondering if I needed a Snapple bottle. You need something where the egg can fit on top, but maybe it needs to be just a little... Oh, no, maybe it's... Is it going? Is it sucking in? It's drying. It's going. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. Well, he's slowly going in there. When we did it at the library, I think I had a Snapple bottle, which was just a little bit wider on the top. And if you put it in right away, you had to put it on right away because it just sucked it right down. So maybe it's the shape of the bottle for this one. Maybe it's the glass versus this. Again, I hate to say this, but it's just one of those things that you're going to have to do. Okay? All right. It's going down, but it's so slow. So we're going to put him aside and do something else. We're not going to wait for paint to dry or whatever we have to do. Okay? So I'm going to put this over here for now, and we're just going to keep an eye on it and hope it finally goes down. It's slowly. When we did it with the Snapple bottle, it just sucked it right down, and I thought for sure that was as big, but I think the Snapple bottle top, it's getting cloudier, so I don't know. And once you get it in there, I don't know how you get it out. But anyway, so I also want to do one with an egg, a regular egg, okay? So with this regular egg, if you take a regular egg, eggs are amazing. Do you know, and I would try this, if you take just a regular egg and you put it in a glass that has vinegar in it and you sit it overnight, an eggshell is so amazing. The vinegar actually dissolves the eggshell and it takes all of it out. And when you pick it up then, it literally bounces. You can take, it's that hard-boiled, hard, but not hard-boiled. Try it with vinegar. As I said before, vinegar is an amazing, amazing thing. So, what we're going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is, I just have a plain thing of water in a glass. And I'm going to take this egg and I'm going to drop it. And eventually, maybe it needs cold water. I don't know. What is Miss Sue doing today? There we go. Huh? No. Anyway. So typically, maybe my eggs aren't fresh. Typically, an egg will drop with regular water. Okay? But if you put salt in it, and you put a lot in it, they say 5 tablespoons. I'll just do a bunch. But if you put salt in it, and you stir it, you know, your body, when you go to the ocean, it floats. And the reason it floats is because of the salt. Well, an egg is very much like that. And even though this one kind of floated down and then floated up, I wanted to see what it would be like. And this just pops up, see, so I'm just going to show you. So this is even more buoyant. So it just pops right up. It's floating. Well, that's what happens to you in the ocean. You float because of the salt water. But this little eggshell, I told you about the vinegar thing you can do on your own. We don't have time today, but I've done it before. Soak it in vinegar where it covers it overnight, and believe it or not, the shell disappears, and it turns to rubber so that you can actually bounce your egg. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Okay. And the other thing, I know that you can take a carton of eggs and open it up and say it's full here, and you could put it on the ground. See my eggs? And you can step on them. You won't crush them because an eggshell, depending on where you step on it, is very strong, and it will support your weight. Okay? Well, we have a bouncy one and one that floats up, and I'm going to try one more today. Honestly, I've done all these before, but hey, you know, that's like an experiment, as I've told you several times. Sometimes it works, and sometimes you go back to the drawing board, but we don't have a lot of time, so I try to get things that'll be done right away, but I don't know. I still have smoke in here, but my egg is just, he's stuck in there, but he's not going down, so I don't know what's going on with that today. Okay, so my last one, and this I said to have on hand. I hope this one works. But what we're going to do is take our same egg that's not hard-boiled. So let's hope it does work, because I'll have to be cleaning up egg. I'm going to take a toilet paper roll, and I'm going to take an egg, and I'm going to put it right on there. And the theory is that because an egg weighs so much more than this, it's actually a tin pie plate, but it's very, very light. And of course, the toilet paper roll is light. You should be able to knock the pan out, and it will tip over and take the toilet paper roll, but the egg, which is heavier than everything, should fall right down into the glass of water. Now, I could be making a mess, and then that'll just be funny for you today. Or it could work. Okay, we're just going to try it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pan, and I'm going to take a big whack to it and knock it off and see if I can get this egg, it's almost a magic trick, this egg into here. Are you ready? Are you ready? Everybody cross your fingers. Abracadabra, hocus pocus, please work, little egg. Whoops. Try it again. Yay! One of my experiments worked today. And that's because the egg is heavier than everything else. It has to do with equilibrium and centrifugal force or something, I don't know. But it works. And this works because those of you who've been with me before have seen it work. We just need maybe a bigger top. it's stuck in there. It's stuck in there, but it didn't go all the way down. And as far as the floating egg in the salt water, just remember that when you are out in the ocean, you too will float. So that's being in a laboratory, boys and girls. You know, you hope it works every time. Most of the time it does, sometimes it doesn't, but you know, you don't get discouraged. I show you how to do something and then you try it at home on your own. Try to float an egg. Try to get an egg sucked into a bottle, and try your magic trick where you get the egg in the bottle. And that's a real egg. That's not hard boiled. So I was just hoping that my magic would work. I want to talk to you about something. At the library in the children's program, we are going to be doing a program on becoming pen pals with one of the senior centers, the retirement / nursing homes. They have been very lonely during COVID, and we think we have such a great base. We have such wonderful children and parents that it would bring a smile to their face if we became pen pals with someone. So there's going to be more information on that on our page. And Miss Sherry from Beavertown, who does the Thursday morning story time, is actually reading a book to get us started that I think you would really love. So look out for that on this page. And as always, be kind. Some of you have shown me pictures of things you're doing with the kindness challenges, and I just appreciate them so much. I think you're doing a great job because it's our job to spread a little kindness in the world. So you be good, you spread kindness. I love you all. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.